What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American Politics, back in with a new video, and today we're going to be discussing an interesting topic that has been starting to gain some steam since November of 2021. The idea is that the Virginia Republican Party has made such a great comeback that maybe, just maybe, it is time for the return of Red Virginia. I know that sounds crazy on paper, but in my opinion, with what's happening in the state of Virginia, there's definitely a shift happening towards the Republicans, and quite frankly, it deserves its own video because, well, there's been some significant changes happening in Virginia for the past, I would say, 2 years or so, and all in a good direction. Now, before I forget, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash that like down below, subscribe, share it with friends, hit the little bell, and yes, of course, go follow that mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. And yeah, so Virginia, the former Republican stronghold in the South. Again, this was one of the most Republican states for years. I mean, I think it went Republican since 1968 until, well, 2008. 50 straight years of being a Republican stronghold. And, well, it changed. It became a Democrat state after 2008, and, well, we're here today, and in 2020, Joe Biden won the state by around 10 points. This is a huge margin, especially for Virginia. I mean, Virginia for years was a Republican stronghold. And there's many factors into why Trump got obliterated here. And I know some people are going to say, he's just not the correct candidate. We need to run George Bush. No, there's multiple reasons why Virginia became a Democrat state. Let's look at the biggest, in my opinion, education. Look at some of these numbers. All these counties are in Nova. Like, look at this. Arlington, Virginia. It went from 60% college educated to 75% just in under 20 years. Look at Fairfax, a 7% increase. Loudoun County, a 14-point increase. You want to know a weird trend? Look at this. Loudoun County went to Biden by 25. For Bush, he won it by 16. A 41-point shift just in under 20 years. You know why this happened? Again, this has to do with college education. It has to do with race. I mean, look at the population growth. Donald Trump in 2020 got more votes than Bush in the state by almost double. What happened? The population increased dramatically. I mean, look how many votes. It went from 75,000 in 2000 to 210,000. That's a lot of new votes. And that's how Joe Biden was able to win the state. I mean, look at this. Fairfax. Look how many freaking votes there are there. Loudoun County, Prince William, Alexandria, etc. There are so many new voters that flooded the state. Just hundreds of thousands of voters. And all of them were suburban women or Asian voters. That's just a fact, right? It was either suburban women or Asian voters. That's not a good combination. And that's why, for the years, the Virginia has become more and more of a Democrat state. But then an upset happened. Well, I wouldn't call it an upset. If this was September of 2021, this would have been a huge upset. But something changed. Glenn Youngkin was able to crack the blue wall in the north and was able to win the state of Virginia. This is such a huge development that happened that, quite frankly, I don't think enough people understand how massive this is. Not only does this, show, hey, Republicans can still win here, it continues a trend that's been going on for years. The incumbent party, all right, will always lose the Virginia gubernatorial race. That's just a fact. The fact that it continued this cycle before the red wave really was starting to get good for the Republicans, Youngkin was able to win by 2 points. Why? Look at the margins. Look at the shifts he had. Loudoun County, a 14-point shift. Prince William 12, Fairfax City 10, Fairfax 11, etc. He was able to increase his vote shares just enough in the Loudoun area, or I should say the Nova area. But at the same time, he was able to keep the Trump margins in the rural part of the state. So Glenn Youngkin, in my opinion, is the perfect candidate for Virginia, and one of those candidates that can help turn Virginia more and more red. But here's the thing, though. Many people failed to realize why we got Glenn Youngkin. Look, there's a reason we have him. It is the convention system. If you don't know what this is how we got Glenn Youngkin. If we did not have this convention system, we would have got stuck with Amanda Chase. We would have lost this race by 6 points at the bare minimum. Glenn Youngkin only got the nomination because of the freaking of the convention system. Look up here for primary polling. Amanda Chase was winning by so much. Well, I should say 5 points, which again is a lot, but it's not the most, but it's still a substantial amount. And it appeared that Amanda Chase was going to be the nominee. She was picking up steam, but then the convention system hit, and Glenn Youngkin won. That's the only reason Glenn Youngkin was the next governor of Virginia. But that's not all. The convention system has, in my opinion, been the biggest factor for the Republican revival in the state of Virginia. It all started, in my opinion, was 2020, when this upset happened. Riggleman, one of the worst representatives we ever had in Virginia, who was officiated a same-sex marriage or wedding. It's like, what the hell? You're a Republican? Give me a break. And if this was a normal primary system, he probably would have won. However, he got destroyed in the convention system by Bob Good, who's a Giga Chad on the issues. Again, this was the turning point. So was Glenn Youngkin's nomination. You notice it all stems from the convention system. If you don't know what the convention system is, it's essentially the hardcore base, like the most loyal Republican voters, those that actually represent the values of the base, not Democrats voting a primary to inflate it. No, these are the real voters. They get out, and it's essentially a caucus. That's the best way to describe it. And well, they got this jackass out. We got Glenn Youngkin in, and there's another one. It continues a trend of good candidates. His name, Hun Cao. Funny name, but this guy is running in a Biden plus, I think, 15 seat or something like that, which may seem like too much. However, this is a seat Youngkin lost by only 2. And you look on the issues, Hun Cao has a very similar issues page to that of Glenn Youngkin. He's running a phenomenal campaign, Glenn Youngkin style, and he's an Asian, which, in my opinion, that shouldn't matter, but he is in a district that has a lot of new Asian voters. He's going to win some of those voters over. You just start looking at it, it's like, okay, the convention system continues to pick good candidate after good candidate after good candidate. And candidates that are good for the district. For example, like Riggleman, there's no reason for the district he was in to be officiating a same-sex marriage. Hun Cao, he's perfect for a Nova district. Someone running on education, fighting off inflation, etc. Issues that do matter to voters in Nova. So again, the convention system, in my opinion, really has been the biggest shift for Republicans in the state of Virginia. Now, for the presidential level, this is where it gets a bit difficult, because Trump, for his, absurd rural turnout, his Achilles heel, it will always be voters in places like Fairfax. However, I think with Glenn Youngkin, his ability to govern, I think Youngkin is able to, turn some of these voters into, like, the Orange Man bad people. Well, I would say Orange Man bad, they just do not like Trump. To voters are like, you know what? I disagree with Trump on his rhetoric, but this is a Republican governorship. This is substantially better than what we had before. Glenn Youngkin's gonna do a lot, in my opinion, to shift a lot of these voters in Nova towards Republican Party. But for Trump to win the state of Virginia, my opinion is he needs to win places like Virginia Beach, Chesapeake Bay, Northampton, Suffolk, etc. He needs to win these counties, Virginia Beach and Hampton Roads area. This is how Trump could win the state of Virginia, but also Glenn Youngkin, in my opinion, is doing great at this, needs to cut off some of these margins in Nova like he did. He needs to get more and more people to join the Republican Party in Nova. Trump, for all of his things I like about him, he's not going to convince these voters to become Republicans. Someone like Youngkin could. So Republicans do have a shot of redemption in Virginia. The statewide party's been competent. They've been getting better and better candidates for each district. Again, I'm not saying you need some base Paul Gosar type in Nova. A Hun Cao type who is great on the issues, great rhetoric. He's perfect for that district. All I'm saying is district by district, we should not be electing people like Riggleman. This was the Virginia GOP in a nutshell before 2020. After that, that was the turning point. They've been nearly perfect, running great campaigns, getting more and more voters over the Republican Party. And well, they're setting themselves up for a potential Senate win in 2024, I believe. Yeah, it is 2024. You have a chance of Republicans flipping a Senate seat. It may happen, but again, guys, this is only if Republicans continue to have a competent statewide party, and if Trump, if he does run again, needs to find a way to get voters in this part of the state here to flock over. And Trump, in my opinion, is the best candidate to do it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that little bell, smash the like button down below, hit that little bell, and yeah, I missed the subscribe part. And yes, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.